Yes, Jumani, also known as Jubian Watchner, is always Arsenal. We lost 1-0 to Southampton, and this is like about three back-to-back losses for Arsenal. Reminds me of the starting of the season where we were unable to produce anything against any side. And today we lost against Southampton, who is very, very weak. And they managed to beat us 1-0, courtesy a goal that really, really disgust, I should say. Yes, Jumani, also known as Jubian Watchner, is always Arsenal. It's always something with Arsenal, and this time we are now out of form, out of top four, and even out of a European spot. Guarantee. We out of a guaranteed European spot, I should say. And it all happened with yet another, or due to yet another loss in the English Premier League. Now, we started with a fragmented team, I would say. Cedric playing right back, Ben White and Gabriel centre back, with Tavares in the left back position, of course, Ramsdale in goal. Lokonga and Xhaka in the midfield with Odegaard in front, Martinelli on one side, Saka on the other side, and Nketiah on top. You all know how I feel about Eddie Nketiah as a starting striker for Arsenal FC. You all know how I feel. I feel like he is not of that quality to be our starting striker. And we desperately need a number 9. No offense to Eddie, but every time Eddie is on the starting lineup for our team, from ever since he has been an Arsenal player, I immediately lower my expectations. And the reality is, the type of striker that we need is not going to come from Eddie Nketiah, at least in his current state. Lacazette apparently got COVID, and even prior to COVID, Lacazette's contribution, of course, is very much valuable as a link-up player. But I still feel for sure we need a number 9 who can actually run at defenders, take chances out of the box, in the box, diving, header, tapping. We need that. We need to really sharpen our finishing and our final third strength. Like, it's almost like if we get flustered in our final third, but let me backtrack, right? We are no longer guaranteed a spot in Europe. We got a golden opportunity with Spurs losing this morning. Then we got the ability to play against a Southampton team who is very much wounded. And of course, it was away from home, but I feeling hurt that we lost against Southampton. Like, I wake up and I was so happy that Spurs dropped points. Of course, our fixtures are still very much harder than theirs. But guess what? We fumbled the bag, and you know what happened on top of that? Manchester United leaped over us. And it's sad because yes, we won't necessarily guaranteed to be in this challenging position for a European place at the beginning of the season. When you look at the whole entire squad and look at when you compare us to the other teams and so on paper, let me be real. Very few of us had any hope of Arsenal competing in a real way. But the season went along, the fixtures worked in our favor, and we got a little form and was able to hold on to a top 4 position and so on. But the reality is we can't afford to miss at least one player from our core starting 11, because the rest of it is shambles. And I'm not bashing the players who coming in as a replacement, but our team is just not deep enough to compete. And I'm not really upset. I just disappointed that with the team that still played, we weren't able to convert our chances or create much chances. And is against Southampton. Now, realistically, with our squad, at least the squad that played today, any team in the Premier League could fight against us. Let me be real. But we fighting for something. Of course, we didn't had no real aspirations of making it top four at the beginning of the season. But now we have a chance. And especially, I mean, our players still need to get a little mature and dealing with situations like this where the pressure is on. But let me be real. This is a disappointing loss, but it's a reality that we still, of course, don't have a deep squad, and we very much need. I was saying we need about 3 players. I feel like we need 4 players to come into the fray um, from as early as the beginning of the transfer window. Let's not wait. Let we figure out our things from now. Let we pelt out the money. Let we get some players. It's very disappointing to know that Champions League is kind of not guaranteed, because Champions League definitely would have assisted us in attracting players, the right players, to fit in key positions to take us forward. Now, I'm not going to spend much time dwelling on the fact that we're not ready yet and all of that, but I need to emphasize that our players are going to feel some sort of way knowing that they're not good enough. We have a young group, and I feel like all the channels, like is always Arsenal, all the fans, everyone should still rally with the troops and really support them in a real way, because the reality is these players are our future. We have a good little core, of young players to really lift their games and jump out and perform consistently in the future. Talent, we have talent for days, but we need depth. We need depth. And it's just unfortunate now that Party drop out with an injury. Tomiyasu, we don't know what's going on with Tomiyasu. Tierney, injury prone. Lacazette, come and get COVID. And of course, went on with our former skipper, Obamaya. So it not since January it was we kind of wavering, but now when the time is necessary for us to get results, we in some shambles. So what I go say is always Arsenal.